It is never too early to start hating Florida, y'all.
True story.
I came from another country back into this country just so that I could appropriately hate the Florida Gators. If you're not coming with that same kind of energy, I don't need to hear about it from you, and you won't enjoy this week of episodes on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, everybody? This is Clint. This is Daniel. He's back. I didn't throw him in a bunker somewhere, some deep sand pit all by himself.
Don't you worry about me.
He's fine, y'all. He's here. His blood may be coursing with just copious amounts of malt liquor, but that's neither here nor there.
Dukes, you don't know me. You don't know everything about me. You don't know everything about me, Dukes.
Dukes knows. By the way, today's episode is brought to you by Sling TV, the TV you love for the price you love. Daniel and I are here. We are back again. It is an exciting week because it is Florida Hate Week. Your Georgia Bulldogs are sitting very, 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 very pretty this time of year, which is glorious to see. Just primed to make another run at the largest outdoor cocktail party. Daniel, you got a bet with a friend on this game? Because I do. I got a bet. It's embarrassing if I lose, which I won't.
You have a friend who's willing to make a bet with you about this game?
They, in fact, had no choice. I imposed this, a Florida grad. I said, Georgia wins. You wear Georgia gear to work. Mm-hmm.
That sounds great.
Florida wins. I wear Florida gear to work. And she was not eager to take the bet.
No, because she knows. Listen, she know that Billy Napier out here just running all kinds of schemes and scams to get this job down in Gainesville.
He got it.
He got it, and Florida fans thought they had a big time coup on their hands.
The next Dan Mullen, some may say. All sorts of the same energy. Daniel.
That's not inaccurate.
Trying to fight coaches off the sideline, imposing a horrible offense with a worse quarterback. Daniel's back. Talk about it. We're here to talk about it. All this week is Florida Hate Week as we lead up to the cocktail party, which we are so thrilled for. We'll have our predictions. We'll have a first look. We'll tell you why Florida is a trash program. And when we cover, by the way, give me them points. Just
lay it. You just lay them right down.
I'll take them.
Like a nice blanket, you just spread it out on the ground.
I'm part of the union, the masonry union. I'm just gonna put them all down, just a nice little bed of bricks.
Lay them right in a row.
It's gonna be beautiful. Lay them points, y'all. But before we do that, before we get to that for the rest of the week, we're gonna do. The SEC has been crazy. Daniel, you came back. You left a reality of the SEC.
I missed some things. Some things happened. Some things happened while I was gone.
And what had happened was. Bama decided that
they are who we said they were. Is what happened, Clint.
And then, what if I told you? What if I was to tell you
that
Bama loses to Tennessee?
Okay. Well, that was the worst thing that happened that day?
Oh, no.
No, that was the most embarrassing thing.
Publicly recorded assault of a female happened from a football player, and the head coach defended it because he was the victim of being scared, Daniel. He's the victim.
He was scared.
She's not the victim.
No.
My mighty number one wide receiver.
Scare him like that. Now, listen.
Yes.
Clint, here are some things that are true about you and I, the people, the men.
Please. Okay, here we go.
I see where this is going.
Vandy fan, how you doing?
Third segment listeners, longtime listeners of the podcast will know that Clint and I don't claim much, okay?
No.
We're not gurus. We're not insiders.
Keep it.
But let the record show, we did not assault two elderly Vanderbilt fans 3 years ago in Nashville.
Who had it coming?
They deserved it.
You don't talk to my children or Daniel's children like that.
They spoke to our children. They deserved it. Mm-mm. But we did not assault those two elderly men. Now,
no, sir.
We cannot say the same for Alabama's fifth best wide receiver, Jermaine Burton.
Oh, no.
Because Jermaine Burton not only would assault an elderly Vanderbilt fan, he did assault a female Tennessee fan
Interesting.
on the field after the game because he was so terrified of her. Maybe she was dressed as a football because seemingly he's got many phobias. Maybe she was dressed as competition.
Maybe.
Because
yes.
that's something we know for a fact Jermaine Burton is terrified of.
No, he don't stand for that. So Daniel left the country. Alabama was sitting high and mighty, and then they went into Knoxville, got absolutely shellacked. Their run defense was nothing. Their pass defense was worse.
Yeah.
And their offense wasn't what we thought they were. They put up a lot of points, but again, Tennessee, y'all, that defense is ugly as well.
Let's talk about how not intimidated by Alabama we are.
Bring it.
Shall we do that?
Please. May we count the ways.
Even this last week against Mississippi State,
my.
Commanding performance. They cover the spreads, blah, blah,
Sure.
blah. Bryce Young and that offense, Clint. Are we...
Here we go. Let me diagram this for you.
Are we very good? Is it a very good situation?
Over here are the good aspects of Alabama's offense.
Okay.
And over here are the not good.
Okay. Okay.
Two-
Tell me
two
about
simple-
this column. Yeah.
Okay, this column has Bryce Young.
Okay.
This column has everything else.
Every other thing about Mississippi State rushed 3 and dropped 8 the entire game.
All game.
Every play that was made by Bryce Young was made because there was absolutely no pressure put on. Clint, there's a blueprint.
I think we created that, didn't we?
We've at least noticed it. I'm not sure. I don't need to take credit for creating
Sorry.
it, but at least I've seen it.
Kirby Smart has created the blueprint.
I've noticed it.
Yes.
I feel zero intimidation. Ole Miss, tough game over the weekend.
Ooh. Wow.
I still put it at 50-50
Coin flip.
if Alabama makes the SEC championship game. I don't even know that we'll get a chance to play them this year, even though they have the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and the best player in all of college football. And they broke the transfer market because they went out and got some guys from Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt.
Sure.
And Henry To'o, who, as we all know, had 13 tackles against Mississippi State, which makes him back. He's back. Okay.
When the running back and receiver run you over, Daniel,
That's a tackle.
That's a tackle. I'm just making sure.
You get a tackle for that.
I'm just making sure.
Alabama intimidates me absolutely zero. But I want to come back next segment, Clint, and I want to talk about the other side
See,
of
Daniel,
the coin.
I clued the people in. I
haven't gotten to say the things that I need to say.
Yeah. I queued them, Daniel. I queued the audience up. I let them know that our takes are going to diverge on this issue, and
So-
they're well ahead. They're well primed for it.
Well, then they should be prepared for what's coming in segment 2.
But first, I want to let you know about Nissan. Nissan has thrilling performances every single week. And this last week, we saw, again, thrilling performances. By the way, that TCU game, Daniel, I'll tell you what, my goodness.
What a fun team that TCU is.
Look, I'm all aboard the Horned Frog. Look, hey, Colin, look, there you go, brother.
One of them.
That's
one of them.
I don't know what you do. I think it's that. That's for you, Colin. Thrilling performances all around college football landscape. And this week, you can have a thrilling performance by going and visiting Pathfinder Armada Frontier at nissanusa.com. They are the movement that is brought to you by Nissan with a thrilling lineup of new designs of those Frontier, Armada, and Pathfinder. You can find all the things you want to know over at nissanusa.com.
Clint, Nissan, Nashville company, by the way. You'll love to see it.
You
do. Tennessee
Yes.
is a problem for Georgia.
So here's the take. Alabama, not a problem. Tennessee, this is a couple weeks ago. Landscape, Tennessee went out and beat UT Martin, just the pants off of them because it's UT Martin, and they pat his ass, yada, yada, yada. But we're talking 2 weeks ago. And I came on this podcast and said, they don't scare me nothing. Daniel's going to tell you why they are that problem.
It's not just 2 weeks ago's performance that makes you, because you gotta look at the thing from all the angles. Okay,
Sure.
Tennessee came out and laid the wood to Alabama. Now you came out on this show and you said Alabama ain't got no secondary.
No secondary.
Okay,
Daniel.
safety play at Alabama is second to any other school in the country. Not good. All right. They're out of position. They're poorly coached.
All the time.
They don't have the talent. They don't have the discipline. They're committing 1 million penalties, blah, 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 blah. Tennessee is not that scary of an offense. Now, listen, Tennessee's defense is trash. It's absolute solid trash. There is nothing about it that intimidates anyone at any time and any place. So don't hear me saying anything differently there. We're only talking about Tennessee's offense right now and Georgia's ability to hold them under 40 points. Okay.
There we go. Wow, he put 40 out there.
Look, I'm just saying it's in the realm of possibility. It's like this is what we're discussing right now.
You're right.
You could watch the Alabama game.
Okay.
You could make all of the, you could make all the excuses. Maybe they're not excuses, but you could make all the reasons why. All right, well, Tennessee did this to Alabama, but Georgia's got this weapon. Georgia's got this package. Georgia's got this scheme.
Sure.
Georgia's got this coach. That's why they're not going to do it to Georgia. Okay, I could buy that. We had this conversation via text message when I was out of the country, and I can buy all of those things. I still think Tennessee is a very intimidating team for Georgia. But then last week happens, Clint.
Okay.
And what had happened last week is that the number one passer in the SEC came into Tuscaloosa. And the number one passing offense in the SEC came into Tuscaloosa. And they got absolutely shut down by the University of Alabama, by the same players, the same coaches, the same schemes. They got absolutely shut down. Will Rogers, the most efficient passer in the conference, the number one passer in the SEC, got absolutely, I don't remember what the numbers were, but it was he was 30% or something completions.
Yep.
And Alabama had like over 10 pass breakups in the game. It was just, the secondary played absolutely lights out. Now, listen, I know the system's not the same. I'm not saying that the schemes at Tennessee and Mississippi State are the same. But
that's
I am
where I was
saying
going to go.
The players are the same, Clint. And the players at Alabama looked more than capable against Mississippi State. They were more than capable against Mississippi State. But something about those Tennessee wideouts, something about that Tennessee scheme, something about Josh Heupel and that Tennessee offense had those same Alabama players coached by those same Alabama coaches looking like a washed-up JV team from the 1960s trying to defend the forward pass. And so that's the thing to me that gives me the most concern about Tennessee is you stack them up next to, you get a back-to-back weeks, same opponent.
Yep.
And you get that kind of disparity between the performance. Alabama looked like the worst defense in the SEC, and then they look like one of the best defenses in the SEC against the pass. That's the kind of thing Tennessee, I think, can do to you, Clint, and you have to be willing to admit that.
I admit that. I'll admit, and I'm going to give all the credit to that on one person's shoulders because I think he perfectly game planned against Alabama. Heupel look, y'all, he's a good coach. Like time to stop talking bad about that coach hire. That dude.
Yeah, time to learn to pronounce his name. It's Heupel.
Thank you.
It's Josh. The J is silent. It's Josh Heupel.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He schemed Alabama perfectly. This guy knows. See, the Pirate, I think he has a system. He comes in with a system. He wants to implement the system, and then he runs the system. And if the system is broken, he tries to do tweaks and levers to that. Heupel goes out there and says, I know how to surgically dismantle you the defense I'm facing. I have a system that's easily replicated. It's the 1 and 2 read and go for Hendon Hooker, and he applies pressure where pressure is needed against the defense he's playing. The thing that, look, Anderson looked like an absolute monster against Mississippi State. Against Tennessee, he looked pedestrian. They surgically removed him. The safeties were surgically attacked. I think the Pirates' understanding of how to do a 15-play drive for 30 yards is just, that's not how you're going to beat Alabama.
Sure.
Right? So I hear what you're saying. If you gave me Kirby against Josh, I'm taking Kirby every time because Kirby does the same thing that Josh is doing, but on defense, Daniel. And he is going to attack certain areas. And this is where he's going to attack this. If I was Josh, I'm going after our corners. Our corners have played not great. He's going to go after him. He's going to press him. He's going to take him deep. He's going to make our safeties go over the top, and then he's going to hit the middle stuff. And we're going to have to bank on our linebackers running with wide receivers. There's a chance we need to get in a boat race with Tennessee. I'm not denying that.
That chance in my mind that this is a shootout type of game. Like both teams score over 35 points.
Yep.
That chance in my mind is over 70% at this point.
Whoa.
I give our defense an under 30% chance of holding Tennessee under 30 points. That's where I'm at. I don't think, because all those things that you just said about Josh Heupel, it's the same coach coming to Athens in a couple weeks. That's the same guy.
I hear
He's going to find, and you just said, there are weaknesses on this Georgia defense. So if I know that, and you know that, and he knows that, it doesn't matter how well you scheme as a defensive coach, you can't negate the weaknesses if the offensive coach is scheming for them. And so I think
the only thing that I have
struggles.
I'm gonna juxtapose this, and then we're gonna move on to our third segment where I'm gonna try to elicit a response from our listener, and then maybe you, to a coach that I actually think is doing dang good stuff that nobody's given a lot of credit to. I'm gonna go to another 1-2 read and run, high prolific offense that has done amazing stuff this year that Kirby shut down in totality, and that's Bo Nix in Oregon. Daniel, look. I don't like saying this. I don't like saying saying this.
I know the narrative. We're Georgia fans. I know the narrative we're supposed to spin. I got my card in the mail.
Okay,
I received all my information that I'm supposed to. I get it. I know that. If you think Alabama would beat Oregon by less than 21 points, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, which means Tennessee has the best win in the country this season, and it's not close, guys. It's not close.
I'm not saying that's not the narrative I'm spinning, and I agree with you. Okay? What I'm suggesting to you is an offense that is producing. Again, it's Pac-12, but Bo Nix has looked good against that. And he didn't look good at Auburn at all. Okay? Kirby shut it down, that 1-2 read and go. That's what Josh has at Tennessee. 1-2 read and go.
Yes.
It's
better athletes, better quarterback.
Better athletes, better quarterback.
Yeah.
I think it's probably somewhere in between. I think it's in between what we did to Oregon and in between what you're suggesting. I think we give up 28 against Tennessee. Easy. I don't think much more. I think maybe 30 is the line for that. But I hear your disdain, Daniel.
I'm buckets. I'm already buckets on top of buckets. It's a cocktail party week, and I'm talking about Tennessee. That should tell you everything that you need to know.
Shame on you. Shame on you for overlooking Florida.
It's just because I wasn't here the last couple of weeks the program is going to fall. They follow the podcast.
They do.
If we overlook an opponent, the team is going to overlook that opponent. So shame on us. You're right.
Shame on us. We did that. We're going to come back after this. First, I want to let you know about Sweatblock. Sweatblock is the place that you want to go to get all those embarrassing moments in your life in which you have to raise your hands at a sporting event and cheer, and all of a sudden find that you got a big old pit stain going on down there. Don't be playing that game. Don't get that back sweat going, Daniel. Daniel witnessed, when I carry 2 shirts around with me because this back sweat, look, you ask me to move something. You ask me to move large furniture in the South on a warm day, that's on you. You know what the shower that's coming here. If I had sweat block, I wouldn't have been
But
embarrassed.
not with sweat block, Clint.
Not with sweat block, Daniel. I didn't have it at the time. I should have. I learned my lesson. I've used it before. We've used it before, Daniel.
Absolutely.
That Clemson game. Ooh,
Absolutely.
that was fantastic.
If only it came with a hydration pack. Like that would have come in handy.
Can you give me a water? Sweat block right now. You can get 20% off using the promo code Locked On. That's 20% off Locked On at sweatblock.com. Give me a water.
Clint, a coach that you're developing a little bit of a crush on.
I got a crush. I don't even care. He is the anti-Kirby. He's the anti-coach that SEC fans should worry about. He's not the Pirate. He is not Lane Kiffin. He's not Nick Saban. He's not Kirby Smart. But I'll be freaking darn. That's what he would say. This is Ted Lasso in the SEC, and it's Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer.
Well,
look,
shucks. All shucks, Clint.
oh shucks, man. What do you know about that? You just come out here, best environment, all of college football. Just who wouldn't want to be here right now?
You know who Shane Beamer reminds me of, and it's perfect. It's the perfect match because there's never been a coach that, if any South Carolina fans listen to the podcast, they'll be more upset than I'm about to say. But you know who he reminds me of, Clint?
I do.
He's just they went out and hired Dabo. Like, that's what they did. That's South Carolina. They just said, oh, yeah, we'll take one of those. We'll take a Dabo, please. Yeah.
Look, Shane Beamer doing some things, y'all. He got SC.
Gets things done.
He's getting players to play. Now you can laugh at his kind of corny nature. He's not going to say, he's not going to drop a F-bomb as he's pointing for a first down against another team. He's going to do that encouraging clap all the way through. He's going to be happy. That's his style. But it's producing results.
There she is.
That's all that matters. So I don't care how he's doing it. It's not Dan Mullen cringeworthy. It's not Napier cringeworthy. He's this middle road guy that's getting stuff done in South Carolina. And if you understand anything about recruiting, Daniel, are there a couple of good spots in South Carolina to get some good recruits?
There's some players that come out of there every single year.
And Georgia likes getting players out of there.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, what if I was to tell you Shane Beamer might start plucking a couple of those players to come play for the Gamecocks? Look, he showed out. Again, it's A&M. I understand. It's Jimbo. Jimbo, by the way,
is out here acting like we should give him a medal because he's not getting blown out against South Carolina. Like
that's what his logic is.
We're not getting run out of the stadium.
We're competitive.
We're being competitive in these games against South Carolina. Jimbo, what are you doing? This is the same A&M team that almost beat Alabama, by the way.
By the way, to connect some dots.
Well, also places. Texas, who is a quality win.
Oh
no,
nope, that's out. That narrative's gone too. Daniel, I know again. You're getting the Twitter feed is just populating, coming back into the country, getting back on the network.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's fine.
That narrative's done. That narrative can't be used anymore. Texas is not back. We've moved on.
What about this narrative?
Okay.
This is only for the third segment listeners.
Loyal third segment.
I was going to mention in the second segment, but I thought this is more for the third segment listeners. How about the narrative? Tennessee fans spending all that Walmart money to buy all them tickets in Athens in a couple weeks. You know the ticket prices, Clint. Athens,
ticket prices are
through the roof. So they can come watch the Tennessee Volunteers play the Georgia Bulldogs. Fresh off the Tennessee Volunteers getting beat by Kentucky? Is that what's going to happen?
That's what's going to happen, Daniel.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen.
So we're talking about they spent all that Myrtle Beach money, all that money they've been saving for that trip. Just to watch a team that got beat by Kentucky come into Athens and get housed. If you want an early lock this week.
Here we go.
Go take Kentucky plus those points. Kentucky plus those points this week. I like it a lot. Kentucky's going to score with Tennessee. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to win the game, but you can get 15 points right now, Clint. You could catch 15 points right now.
Get the
with
points.
Kentucky. That's too many.
If you want to talk about a team that will look ahead, Tennessee is already looking ahead. You want a team that's not looking again. Nothing matters on this podcast. Kirby's got them on lockdown. Okay, for Florida week, like lockdown.
Yeah, this team ain't looking ahead to Tennessee.
No, we can. They don't.
And Kentucky is surely not looking ahead past Tennessee to whoever it is they've got.
Kentucky don't
schedule.
care.
Kentucky's coming out there to fight. That's going to be a sneaky game this week.
Very sneaky game.
Last week's slate, not good.
No,
this
my
weekend
gosh.
slate, there's some interesting games.
Final thought. Can anybody tell me what in the world is happening at LSU? Daniel, can you give me any understanding of what actually is happening at LSU? You have a theory?
I'm thankful that you asked.
Thank you.
No, I cannot.
Okay.
No, ain't nobody know what the hell is going on.
No.
Now, here's the only thing that I can say that might bring some clarity to the matter.
Okay.
Brian Kelly is the coach at LSU.
There it is. I'm sorry. Okay. This makes all the sense in the world. So we're schizophrenic across all the program whatsoever because Brian Kelly don't know what accent to pull out today.
No.
And he sure as heck don't know what play call to make or what coach is coaching where. LSU, my gosh.
You want to talk about a team, though, that just doesn't belong. And Ole Miss,
Here we go.
You know, like it just
we see
they
you,
can't
Lane.
have
Lane.
nice things. They're not
Lane.
trying to be out here having nice things.
We know who you are, Lane. Like, I know you want to be somebody different. I get it, man. I get it. I got a cousin. He really wants to be an upstanding guy. He just
isn't. He just isn't. You know?
He's not. The number of warrants, the number of times he's asking for favors that I know I'm going to be an accessory to something, and I say, nope, not mine.
Not today.
Lane, you tried, but you can't. The SEC
beat Alabama and then lose the Egg Bowl to Mississippi State, and Alabama's going to get to go to the SEC championship game anyway, with 2 losses.
100% is what's going to happen. You all know it. We know it. Come on now. Hey, we're going to talk more Florida Hate Week because it is Florida Hate Week. We're going to do a look ahead to the game. We're going to give you the insights to how bad Florida is, how great we are against them, how we match up so well. That's later on. Locked On Bulldogs, your team every single day. See you guys later.
We'll see you.